Alright, let's check our screen here.
So is this just like, is this just one profile? Like,
It looks like you're just doing it under profile, not under, yeah, because you're using folder switches.
okay.
You can always use other profiles with other buttons too. That's another way to switch.
So like,
You should have 5 and 10 for refresh.
Okay, great, thanks.
so like what you had
Perfect.
before isn't gone. It's just, this is just kind of separate.
It's fine. Yeah, whatever you need to do. Like, I don't care about not using that.
Cool.
Someone intentionally trying to make my life harder is putting the categories and everything together in the order. Okay. Cat 3, Cat 4, Cat 3.
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Go faster and left.
With the capitals, like you said.
Yep.
That was capital F and L.
What's that?
Capital F and L.
Yes. Sorry, it took me a while to process that.
I'm assuming is it Belgium Wi-Fi or JVM feedback?
Definitely the Belgium Wi-Fi if you want anything quality. What are you going to try and do with it?
I was just
Yeah, if you start checking on the stream too much on the Wi-Fi, it'll actually start competing with our ability to stream.
yeah. Okay.
It's not, the throughput's kind of limited because of the hotspot. It's better than I thought it would be. And what's crazy about that hotspot is 3 times the upload rate that I do at home. This cable's like, 10. This thing's like 35.
Wow.
That's actually kind of cool. The cell phone upload rate is actually better than usually your home cable would be. Radio check, radio check. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are just a few minutes out from starting. You see our track is starting to empty out here a little bit. If you're on the stream, you're seeing our current race schedule. Welcome to our second week of racing, just a few minutes away from beginning. Thank you again for being here. In our second week of this preseason, we've got some great racing action coming your way, including starting with some point-based races to open things up tonight. Our novelty race, the Marymoor Craw, Keirins will be going on today. That's right, we're bringing out the pacing bike. And finally, some scratches with premes to close out the evening, our featured race at the end of the program. Friday night racing at the Velodrome, coming at you here in just a few more minutes. Can you go under the microphone audio settings? Go to properties. Never mind, cancel. Go to the advanced, just go click the gear again. Advanced audio properties. And can you do gain? Is there a gain on there that's up at all? On mic? Yeah. Go on microphone aux. Flatten that down to 0. I'm clipping that thing.
Yeah, no, I was noticing that.
Okay, thanks. Let's see. Let me know if you're seeing it clip anymore, and if we need to adjust that, just bring that down, okay?
Yeah.
Can you not switch to it, but just give a preview of this angle? Because I'm going to be standing over here a lot. Don't switch to it, though. Okay, good. Oh, you're sick. Okay. Bam. Hi. Okay, good. Thank you.
You got an announcer view?
We do. Well, you can always match them for like our big races, like if we want to interview somebody. We'll literally invite them up here. We're also going to try to do action cam interviews, but that'll come later.
Man, this thing's so cool.
Do you have all the bike cams set up?
Yeah. There should be you can view them right now. You can see them on there.
Campbell Harris. So 2 should be 2 is e-bike, 3 is Carl, and then 1 is Campbell Harris.
Oh, and with the Go Live one, I've got like a security check. It's like a 3-step process. See if I go live and then it's are you sure? And then I moved it so you don't have to like misclick it.
I waved. That was fun. All right, cool. God, I need better builders to come back and add me another
desk.
Yeah. Also, if the audio is still flipping, you could try just moving it away from your face a little bit.
can. The hard thing about doing this event is I need volume live and I need it online to be balanced. So you need, like, I can't have it too quiet for the people in person.
Yeah.
The way to handle that is to go to the speakers and stuff, because that doesn't fit my mix.
So, did you go and check to see if corner 4 speakers?
I haven't even checked.
Okay. We'll just assume it's fine.
Corner 4 cam, I mean...
No, the speaker.
Oh, the speaker.
Yeah, we have a speaker up there.
Can you check the bike? Sorry.
All right, Corey, we're going to get started with announcements here. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. I'm on the podium.
You can bring her up on race cam. What's going on her?
Z, can you hear me? You don't have to get too close. We can stay apart. That's fine.
I know it's a race. Maybe.
Welcome.
I know you don't want to show a race on there, but
so much nicer
Which one?
this week.
just
This
main
is wonderful.
cam.
I
So you
didn't
can zoom
have
in
to
on
check
it.
my
Do you
weather
want
app
to
like
hide
50
some of the
times.
labeling on there for the
Yay!
video?
Obviously, every week things are changing little by little, so we have a few random updates for people. The first of which is the warm-up circle. It is going to be available if you're the next race. So as soon as they roll off, you can warm up in there. The exiting the track is going to be a little different as well. After you finish, you are taking a victory lap, which I know is like hurts me to say. Taking a victory lap, you're stopping on the back straight to re-put on your mask, and then as soon as the next field rolls out, you're getting in the warm-up circle. That way we're not having weird crossing and awkwardness. So you're taking victory lap, stopping on the back straight, waiting for the field to roll out, and then you can get in there. The Keirins are going to be a little different. We just have to come in nice and slow. Keirins, you are staging in order. They are pre-drawn. If you haven't seen them, look online. There's a few links everywhere. You're going to get instructions there. You're going to roll out to the top rail. That's where you're going to get your start. So we're pushing off from the rail for a Kierin start, because there's no fighting for position anyways. You're just slotting into line. This is new and different for everyone, so the first few heats are going to be a little funky, so just kind of bear with us. I guess for the Kirin, like I said, we're going to have to listen to Corey or whoever has a mic and just try to work together here. Trying to think of other random updates. Anything, Andy, Andrew?
I don't actually. Thank you. I'll man this.
Yes, so we realize that the CDC says that if you're vaccinated, you don't need a mask. But we are waiting for the county and state guidelines, so we are going to follow the masking rule until they tell us otherwise, and then we'll let you know. But like I said, our hands are tied by state and county guidelines, so just help us out, and hopefully things will come down the road there. Scott?
It's kind of annoying.
Good evening. I got just a couple updates with regards to safety tonight. So one thing I was reported to from last Friday was that riders need to have hands on the bars at all times while racing. We haven't run. My apologies. So riders should have their hands on the bars at all time while racing. Taking your hands off the bars can cause unnecessary safety hazards. As Marymoor Craw goes, we will be starting on. Sorry, change it again.
It just keeps changing. That's the one we forgot about. We're going to stage you in staging, and we're going to roll straight off into the crawl, like immediately. We're not going to take a victory lap. It just took way too long and was really awkward. So if you need help getting your pedals started at the back, as soon as everyone gets on the track, time starts. Everyone goes to the finish line anyways. So Marymoor Craw. Marymoor Craw is masked because it's mixed field. That's where we're at right now. So we're going to start
Kelly. I'm going to be telling you when to ring the bell for premes.
staging straight on just to kind of speed up
By
the
the
program
way,
a little bit.
You're gonna need to use that one. 'cause
And
it's a big
that's all I
delay.
have here, so let's get this started. I guess we did not sure if this is announced yet, but there's no women's heat for the Kirin. They will go straight to final 1 through 7. And I guess on the Kirin, so for those that do have heats, which is everyone except for the women here, is that you'll have your heats that are per the list on the website. You'll race with your field, and then the top 3 advance to the major final, and the bottom 3 go to the minor final, which will be posted online. And that will be done during the Kierin Finals.
All right, who's up first? Corey, take it
All
away.
right, thank you very much. It sounds like we're ready to start racing, so we are going to call the Cat 4 men competitors for the point a lap, the first event tonight. Once again, welcome. It is the beginning of our race program tonight. We have our Cat 4 men competitors grabbing their stuff and heading on over. Yes, there's a lot of things that we're juggling at the beginning of this season as we're trying to meet a lot of safety protocols, while also excitedly bringing back racers to begin. You have to come do it with me every time. We can find time to do it. Probably not tonight. If you want to come a half hour early or something, we'll get it set up. Okay. Cool. Does that look? Look at the bubble. Is that centered? It looks super not centered.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay, we can adjust. So let's drop this. All right, so in the staging area, currently on that warm-up circle, our first category getting set to go. This first race, again, a point lap. On deck will be the Category 3 men for the Snowball. We'll let our officials get our racers started once they are queued up and set up to go. And then as they're going around that neutral lap, we'll talk a little bit more about the racing, and then just tonight in general, we'll get you introduced to racing here at the Velodrome. There's something about it has to do with font scaling. Now. It doesn't handle font scaling very well.
We're gonna do
doing it as images would be a lot cleaner. But
point a lap.
Tobias has got. Okay.
I'm gonna roll you, and then if you are together, in turn 4, I will start the race. So we're gonna do a point a lap, 8 laps. You are racing Cat 4. If you're here and you're not Cat 4, please let us know. So I'm gonna give you the signal to roll, and if you come back at corner 4 and you are all together, we'll start the race. I will blow the whistle. Everybody ready? Riders ready? Okay, go.
All right, and there's our signal officially to get this thing underway, and riders now taking the track. This is going to be a neutral lap, so our scoring elements won't start until the next time we see them around the track. So the fun of the Velodrome here on display right away, we do all sorts of racing formats here. We don't like to just say ready, set, go and see who wins. We like to put in some different formulas to see what we can figure out to mix up the action a little bit. This first one's a point a lap, and as the name suggests, you can earn a point per lap for being at the front of the race. If you're not at the front, too bad. That does mean that you can win the race, even if you don't win the last lap, though, as you can get enough points earlier in the race to get yourself a mathematical lead and then kind of cruise your way into the finish. Again, this neutral lap is an opportunity to do exactly what you see here. The field is going to get together first before we start them out of turn 4 with another confirmation from the officials team. And with that, we are giving them the signal to start racing. Next time around, leader of the lap is going to be getting points. Make it 1.
It's so weird. It's like I see him move the camera and I'm like, why is it not moving?
I know, it's weird. The whole thing is like I hope it's coming across the line. We'll have to check later.
That makes it so much easier.
And 1 lap down, 7 to go. The bid number looks to be 409. I got that down as John Levy. A rider out of Woodinville picking up the first and early lead of the race. Don't forget back straight when they're over there as well.
Yeah.
can be as dynamic with that stuff as you want. Nice. Pick up another one. John's going to get a nice early lead here. He's getting some encouragement from corner one as he goes by. He gets some encouragement from corner one as he goes by. It didn't work. The infield's working though. Okay, very good. Nice. Hey, you know what? These guys can't hear you. So it's nice to have a live audience again. We've been away from the sport for a while. And don't worry, if you're at home too, I'll occasionally check that chat on one of those streams, and I might even interact with you there, because it's fun to interact at the track. We've missed that for a while. John is our early race leader. He's wearing bib 409, has 2 points. He's going to fight for some more, though. John's on a bit of a tear here. So you can watch that dark blue jersey with the light blue and orange of John Levy. He's got an early mark on his back. 3 points to his name. Nicely done. 5 laps remain. Laps remaining. It's okay. There's a lot to do, dude. It's a lot to switch. That extra transition push is what I think is going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So you may find that that's too much to have to push transition also, but another one. Holy moly! Give me upgrade points. I want them. Here's some moves from corner one. The excitement of John's 4th point. We've got a field of what looks to be about 4 riders. That's the largest gathering of chasing riders right now on the track. Unfortunately, our bike cam in this field is pointing down. I think it tightened it up or something. I'll have to figure that out. And you can still see the blue jersey of John driving the train here. The rider behind him trying to find an opportunity to get in for a point. This may end up being a sprint for second, which is not a bad place to be. You could have 0 points and still sprint for second. With 3 to go, John's got 5 and can't be beaten by points alone. So is the race against John or is it against the field? I think riders might be starting to figure that out. 5 riders gathering up on the back straight here. Sweeping through turn 4 and getting set up. This will be the first points for another rider besides John, and that's because he knows that he's already won the race mathematically. With 2 to go, the first points going out to bid 412. It looks like Benjamin Plum of riding under the team name for Fell Swoop Racing, currently wearing that all-black kit. Pulls up to the right under the Greg Cycle sign and gives a little room for someone else to take the lead. He's been pulling quite an effort out there trying to hold on to the lead of John. 2 to go, racers, 2 to go. John took a break, he got a breather, he got some oxygen back in the legs. He said, sure, I can do one more. Here we go. There's the bells. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. John's going to wrap this one up with another point here, and it's 1 to go. Looks to me like Blaine Peterson is the rider next across the line who is set up here in a good position to try to close this race down what might be for 3rd place. Benjamin Flumno, the rider in all black, is set up nicely behind his wheel and is now going to try and make a counter punch of his own. Maybe he can pick up another point and guarantee 2nd here. 1 to go, riders, 1 to go. Do remember we're taking a victory lap tonight. We're not exiting immediately. Looking around and checking, indeed, it'll be John finishing up here for his final point. Benjamin Flumno coming across the line would be getting 2nd place, the rider in black. And a rider, looks like Dyna Racing in the black and pink, will be getting, I believe, 3rd place is Bernard Yee unofficially, based on the finishing placings. Tiebreakers, of course, if you don't have any points, then your finishing position on the last sprint will indeed break that tie and figure out the rest of the positions. So, 2 more riders finishing up again. We're taking that victory lap. You'll come back around on the back straight. Well done, Cat 4 riders. Cat 3 men are up next with the Snowball and are already getting queued up. On deck, please ready to race. Next will be our women competitors for the point of lap. Women are on deck.
So this is a 12-lap snowball. You can go ahead and remove your mask now. I'm gonna tell you to roll out, and then you're gonna do a neutral lap, and if you're together in corner 4, I will start you. With this waiting for everybody to get off the track.
Oh, wait. Yes, oh, what are those guys?
Alright, riders ready?
That's the last race getting pulled off. It's
Roll.
like the new way they're doing that.
Oh.
It'd be kind of cool to see them on the back straight. It's kind of neat, actually. So they're like right there in front of the camera. All right, up next, it's our Category 3 men competitors taking the track. We're doing a snowball. It's the cutest sounding race on the track. This is going to be for another point situation, although it runs a little differently. So the snowball gains snow as it rolls down the hill. Every time they come back around, the points goes up one more. So the front rider will get 1 point on the first lap. They'll get 2 points on the second lap. The front rider gets 5 on the fifth lap, and so on and so forth until the end of the race. In this case, we're going to be counting up on the lap cards, and we will stop this race when those lap cards show 12. So the final lap will be worth 12 points in this 12-lap snowball. Rider with the most points is our winner. And once again, those tie breaks can be pretty important here, so we'll pay attention to those as best we can. Tie breaks are always broken by the position on the final sprint. And the whistle says time to race. Next time around, first rider gets 1. Card showing 0 right now, they'll show 1 next time. So if you can see the lap cards over here on the finish line, that's one way to keep track of what the points will be. If you're new to track racing or haven't checked this out before, categories is just kind of a term that we use in the cycling world to refer to skill and experience over time, kind of combined into strength and speed, all coming together to make sure that the fields are competitive and athletically matched for our riders. So you get upgrade points, you get upgraded and move up into the categories, and that's trying to keep things nice and competitive for everybody on the track, whether you're new or you've been doing this for a while. That's Peter Snowblin cruising for the first point, bid 303 in that all-white jersey. Might as well take that early gain and get a nice call out over the microphone as the first point. You got to find those value points early on in this race, because as the value goes up, the sprinting will get crazier and crazier. So you'll see this group right now isn't being too contentious. It almost just looks like they're warming up as they're a bit at a pace line, but that's because there's not a ton of motivation yet to fight for these early points. But you know what? These could end up mattering. One of our juniors knows that very well. And it looks like we are going to probably be throwing that to 304. Carl Pratis says, yep, I know I need this early. I'll go out and grab that. That's right, we have some junior racers out here as well. So this is a full family kind of event out here at the Velodrome. Starting to see a bit of a snap here in the field. So some riders are going to have to pick up a pace and see if they can hold on to the increasing speed, as again, these points only keep getting more valuable. And now our riders trying to put up their paces and see who can hold on. Showing 3 on the lap cards shows 3 points to bid 307. And our new leader is Jake Tongue. He's got that white helmet and the dark kit and pulls up to the right along that blue line and gives room for other riders to come underneath him. And if he can, he's going to try to get on that rear wheel of that increased speed of the lead group. So we now have the snapped off front field with a chasing group now. 6 riders make up the front of the race coming out of turn 4. The 3 behind them trying to organize and stay a part of this race as long as they can. Snowblin, and it looks like the junior is going to find his way around the front. That's our other junior in the field with that orange helmet. It's kind of the giveaway that it's the laser. It's Henry Kaiser picking up 4 on the lap. The field of 6 taking their turns, taking bites out of the points totals here as best they can.
You should have a bike cam on one of them.
About a third of the way through this race, and our race leader now is the winner of the last sprint, which you'll hear a lot in the snowball. The next one is going to be worth 5, and it looks like it's going to be Kaiser again. Look out for that orange helmet. He's found his stride here in the middle of the race. Time to get some more. Make it 9 for the junior. Nice, dude. Oh, that's so great. Whose is that?
Carl.
Oh, Carl. Getting a look at one of our, if you're out there on the live stream, getting to see some in-person action on the bike cams. As one of our riders, Carl Pratis, is out there giving us an in-person view of the racing. Coming around through the middle of the turns here, it looks like Snowblin's coming out in the front. It might swoop out a little bit. Speaking of swoop, can Fellswoop get in there? No, it'll be our team in green for Fount Cycling. That looks like bid 306 of Chris Wilson got in there. I believe that was for 6 points. giving him a second place standing currently unofficially behind Kaiser, who has 9. Other riders with points have got Jacob Tung with 3, Premes has 2, and Snowball with 1. That early 1 point, though, I mean, that could end up paying off really nicely for Peter. So, again, you go for the points when you can, but now here's where all the fighting's happening at these big point totals. Chris Wilson was waiting for his turn, and he's just going to go for it. 7 more points for the rider in green, and now the leader of the race. Chris Wilson is the front of this race with that light green helmet, the dark green kit, and 8 more points. I believe I have his points totals, if I'm not mistaken, at 21 after that point pickup. And the lead of the race confirmed by the officials team, and he's well away from this field right now as he's coming in to turn 3 underneath the Stanley sign. He'll be taking a couple of riders down a lap as he's just putting on an impressive solo effort here early in our season. He came here ready to go on the endurance. 9 more points brings him to 30. Good luck catching that. The next closest rider is Kaiser, who is currently in second place in the points as well. He's the rider with that orange helmet. He has 9 points to his name, and if he stays where he is on the track, he will guarantee that second place finish as he won't let anybody else grab points from him. The 2 riders in pink, we're going to call them in no man's land as they've been lapped by the leader. They're not really going to be in points contention here. They actually sit up and allow Kaiser to kind of take that sprinter's lane. Currently, though, at the front is still Wilson, who will just keep throwing numbers his way, make it 40. He was just sitting in that field getting the legs warmed up for the big solo effort here. Kaiser in a similar position, just having to stay on tempo. The rider in the orange, and the next rider on the field out in front is going to be Snowball in the white, another rider that likes this kind of tempo racing, so he's going to try and catch up, maybe see if he can get up to Kaiser and challenge here at the end. 2 laps to go as the cards show 10 for the riders coming across the line now, and now showing 11 for the race leader. The rider in green coming out of turn 4 gets the bell, 11 more points. I believe he's at 51. Our race leader just going to keep adding it just for the fun of it. He comes around and will be finishing up on this lap. Here comes Kaiser, also beginning the bell. Him and Snowball coming into this finishing straight. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. And this is our final group on the same lap. These 3 riders coming across the line here in a moment have 1 to go as well, led out by Z-Dog, the Fell Swoop team. And here comes our winner for the race. As Chris Wilson looks like he was unchallenged out there in today's Cat 3 field with this fantastic solo ride effort. Nice racing today from the Fount Cycling rider, and a nice 2-up sprint coming out of turn 4 here. It looks like it'll be Snowball versus Kaiser, as Snowball did catch up. What's it for, though? Well, it's really just for it's for the show here. The points already sort of set up, so I believe Kaiser will end up with the total of 9 and gets the night's second place finish. Jacob Tung staying on the leader's lap, I believe, will end up in 3rd as he had 3 points from the earlier sprint in the race. Our riders will go ahead and take that victory lap, and we'll get them on the back straight next time around as our women competitors are now queued up and ready to start momentarily. I'll let the official team get them started out of the warm-up circle.
Well, one person was a lot stronger than everybody else.
That wasn't much of a race, was it?
I mean, early
been
points.
training, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the early points were crucial for anyone to pick them up.
In a race like that, it
Yeah.
turned out to be even more important.
Alright, you can go ahead and remove your mask. We are doing an 8-lap point-a-lap race.
Good God.
When you're ready, I'm gonna roll you, and you're gonna do a neutral lap. If you are all together in corner 4, I will start the race. Any questions?
zoom in a little bit. Yeah, sure.
I brought it down to.
One thing to remember is
Okay.
in this
Looked like it
race
wasn't
there's going to be
at all,
a
so it's
sprint
good.
on each lap. That means stay on your lane when the sprint is engaged. Yeah. Even if you're not competing. Alright, let's see. Roll!
All right, there's a sign for our neutral lap for our women competitors. I call this a sign of improvement and growth around here. Last week we weren't able to host a separate field, but check it out. We got our women coming back out. We've got a field now, so that is fantastic. This would be a good time in our program to kind of, as we go through this neutral lap, we've seen a couple of these races, time for me to focus on sort of our safety protocol reminders. We have worked extensively with King County Parks and with the county in general to make sure that our racing events are under their purview, are safe. Some reminders for our in-person folks. 6 feet of social distance is required between people who aren't in the same family group. So we would ask that if you aren't keeping that sort of spacing between you and someone you don't know too well, you might want to make sure that we've got fair spacing situated. We've tried to mark all the grandstands appropriately for you with stickers to kind of encourage that spacing. We thank you for cooperating with that. In addition, we do ask that everybody in attendance, including our riders when they're not racing, wear a mask. We know we got racers without masks on. We have actually taken a stand and said only vaccinated riders or those with negative tests from the past couple of days can race. So we feel pretty good about saying at least for the racing we can take the masks off for a moment. We are trying to be abundantly careful though, and if you are on the outside of the fence, including myself, we're going to keep our masks on for tonight. So thank you for participating in that and helping us stay safe and open here during the summer of 2021. Our transition back to normalcy. So hard and difficult as it is. Another quick reminder too, and just in case you're up against the railing, kind of checking out the racing, if you notice again, as a reminder, our riders don't have masks. We're just, an extra precaution the county has asked us to make is a little extra space between you and the railing. If riders are getting a little close, we're just thinking, it might be one of those places we can check in with our spectators. So, for your safety and of our riders as well. On this first lap, the very first point.
So did they just get 1 point per lap?
Kelly, please. We'll pick up the first point on this one, right out of Marymoor Craw. She's got the blue colors of Apex Racing on this year, and she's got the early lead. You can see her across the field now in the second wheel position, down in that white bike with the blue and black kit, and she's looking like she's trying to lock in another attack here. Coming out of the turn, wants to pick up yet another point early in the race. Heather Nielsen is challenging her for the point, but she gets away by about a bike length and a half or so, so it'll be Kelly Please again on this lap. She's got the early lead for 2 unofficially, and chasing right behind her as they cross the line, Heather Nielsen now takes that front position, the rider with that red kit, the neon helmet. Program Director Edwards in second wheel position. We're in the blue of Greg's, one of our fantastic sponsors around here at the track. Out of turn 4, it'll be Edwards at the front of this group here, and Please in second wheel position. Edwards will take this point on this lap with 5 to go. That puts her in second position. Now Please back on the wheels here. We've also got a field of juniors kind of competing and riding against one another on the back straight. So that group of 3 in the chase right now isn't the front of the race, but they're putting on a nice effort between themselves as well, and they will be fighting for positions in this race overall, in this juniors field, so to speak. Kelly picks up another, holding on to this lead nice and comfortably. She's got 3. Seeing 4 to go. Nice job to our junior competitors. Head down and get some speed here. As Lucy Gilchrist is organizing the efforts of 2 of her teammates of the Terry Baker Juniors team. That's right, we got our own junior squad around here. You can learn more about that on our website, or, the old-fashioned way, come talk to one of us who might even be familiar and friendly enough to give you some information about it. I see 3 on the lap cars, and Heather Nielsen, rider 111, gets 1 point. And she's riding in the Audi Crikey Sports all red kit. Now now red and blue, I should say. Up next, and should be getting ready to go here, is only a couple laps remaining in Cat 1, 2 men. You got 15 lap Snowball, and the warm-up circle is yours. So you should be over there and getting ready to go as we'll get you queued up here in a moment to get ready for your race. Coming down to it, 2 to go, 2 to go. Kelly looking smooth at the front there for another point. 4 to her name, and our race leader pulls up and out of the way. The other 2 in a tie, 1 each to the rider in red and to the rider in blue and green. Nielsen says, no thanks. She'll pull up a little bit and slow back the field again. Nobody coming to the front to take it from her as everybody's willing to kind of sit on the wheel for a moment. Edwards and Please next door to one another. Lucy still setting pace beautifully here for our juniors field. Coming to under turn 2. And they cheer on their teammate and actually bring them into the field. So nice look at the juniors to try to reorganize. 1 to go. Final lap here. Nielsen wants one here. The rider in red now moves into second place overall with 2 points. The rider in the lead still is Kelly. And down the back straight, it will be the rider in the Apex kit wanting to get this final sprint underway. Our junior field gets the bell as well. 1 to go for our junior competitors. Looks like Leah Huslander there at the front of the field, but 2:05 for the junior kids in the back. Doing an excellent job. And the sprint for the final point. Edwards wants this last point. And a tie break between her and Nielsen would give it to Edwards for second place. Please, I believe, will still hold on to that first place finish overall. We still got riders on the track finishing up. Here comes a sprint from the junior field as well, as they've been lining things up here. I think that's going to be Lucy coming out of the turn first. And it looks like it's going to be a rider from the Jerry Baker Juniors team. That's going to be Bella coming around the outside of Lucy for that final sprint. Nicely done.
How's that feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah. It's nice to have a more substantial camera in your hand. In terms of like the handling of it.
Yeah. Way better gimbal than 2 years ago where you had to like yank it.
Yeah, that's the one that's like down there. That little thing, basically. Or maybe it's the one in the back straight now.
That's one of them.
Yeah, it's one of those pieces of crap.
That thing you had like yank.
Yeah.
And if you had it so loose, it would just like 360.
Another reminder that we have a finish line angle too for sprints. If we ever want to try bringing that in. Coming up next up we have Snowball, but I mean you could almost do an entire lap without the main camera, basically. The biggest thing that it gets is this turn. Is what we don't have without
You
it.
can go ahead and remove your mask. So we are doing a 15 lap Snowball. You know how it goes? The number of points that you get goes up. When you're ready and everybody's out of the track, I will start you. You're going to do a neutral lap. And if you're all together, I will start the race.
Put down the audio sources right now.
Riders ready? Roll.
All right, you saw the Snowball earlier. This is our category 1-2 competitors taking their turn at the same event. Each line to go around the track. We're going to increase the points earned at the front of the field by 1. Only the front rider will get any points on that lap. Currently in the neutral, we'll get them started out of the next turn here. When we come around, on turn 4.
Someone was telling me there was like an extra hot mic somewhere during the overhead micro. We need, I don't know, there might be some sources that are still trying to pass audio. We don't want any of that. That's no good, no bueno. So keep an eye on the audio mixer. Maybe you can drag at the bottom a little taller so we can see more of it. And in case you see anything else moving besides the mic mix, we'll want to solve that.
All right, with the whistle, racing underway. Next time around, 1 point to the leader of the lap. We'll keep going up and up and up the Snowball. Of course, the race that really pays off if you can sprint a lot, especially at the end. But if you go really early, and try to pick up a ton of early laps. That can add up to one of those later sprints and guarantee you a pretty good placing in what is a sizable field, our largest yet of the season. So riders starting to get themselves all ready and situated to compete here in our early season. And this very first lap, excuse me, I should correctly name this one now, as we've got a slight name change. The Broadmark Realty Capital Team at the front with the white and the blue and the yellow. Andy Baker getting the very first point. One of our fantastic sponsors here under turn 1, Broadmark team. Riders, of course, a couple of riders out in this field, but if you see riders on the same team like that, no, they're still competing for themselves. This is not really a team sport once the race starts, so it's you versus everybody. So why have teams? You can organize, train, work together, share resources, and all those kind of things. Build community, important around here, obviously. Oftentimes, working with local businesses to provide some sort of deals and help riders do this, relatively expensive sport, help them get out and do some racing together. Good reasons to get together and help one another out. Baker picks up 2 in a row, so he's got 3 points in the lead of the race. The rider at the front position right now. Everybody's really comfortable just sitting on that wheel for a while. Looking at 3 laps down and 5, make it 6 points because I can do math. 6 points for Andy Baker. I'm just a humble music teacher during the day, so I don't really know. They say we can only count to 4, so I'm trying. Sometimes I don't have to count to 3, it's great. All right, coming out of the turn, our first challenger, taken from Baker on this lap. It looks like we're going to have bib number 2-1. It's Emmett Culp. He's got the blue on Digital Commerce Bank, coming up from Portland. Picking up the 4, I believe, on that lap. So he's got a nice, healthy point. So look at this. Everything's kind of livened up. You stirred up the bee's nest a little bit with that sprint, and now things are starting to move. Get a little antsy out of the field here. Things moving now. Bib number 3, John Bowie coming out with the Liquid Bellow Expeditors? That sounds very fancy. I like the change. The blue team, the green team. Man, I'm having a hard time here. Man, oh man. That's all right. Either way, he's fast. It's John Bowie in turn 4, but he's being a little challenged here. What's going to happen coming out of the turn of straight? Coming down this line, it looks like Martinez. Oh! Bowie holds on. But this is a really good position for them to be in. Bowie's now got 11 points unofficially. Our race leader, the rider in black and green. But he's got a partner now in crime, and if they work together, they become a 2-man team, and that's scarier than a solo rider because you can take those turns, sharing the load. And yes, indeed, when you're not on the front, it is easier. You're on the front, you're working a little harder than that rider behind you. So these two are doing a nice move here. Martinez showing really good form early in the season, is ready to go on these longer distance efforts. He gets 7 in that, and he's going to get rewarded. And you'll notice as they come to the line now, they're going to stop competing against each other and start cooperating because they now know they share in those points. That's going to be to the benefit of both of these riders in the long term. So now it's Bowie's turn to get these ones. It'll be 8 more for him. 19, I believe, now his total. So bib 3 pulls out of the way. Get some encouragement out of turn 1. This is an impressive effort from these two early in the race. They're trying to just put this one away. Andrew Kahlberg's got bib number 1 on, a season leader from 2 years ago. Again, the Broadmark Realty Capital team is doing some work to bring the field up. I believe that's Mike Robson, the 10-speed hero in the blue, also trying to take his turn to bring that field up into contention. 9 more for Martinez. Our race leader, still Bowie, he's got what I believe to be 19 and 16 points for Martinez in second. The riders off the front, currently on the back straight with the field in hot pursuit. They know that if they let this go much longer, that there's not going to be much opportunity to be in the top 2 placings at least. Other riders with points, I have Baker with 6 from earlier and Emmett Culp with 4. That's our 3rd and 4th place riders. They're not finding the efforts here, guys. It looks like our front runners are just going to keep rolling away. 10 more for Bowie. 10 showing in the lap cards means there's 5 more to go here. The 10 points going to the rider in the black and green, so we can expect Martinez to pick up the 11 if they're going to continue to cooperate for a few more laps here. At some point, they are going to have to ask the question who wins this race, and there may become a point at which this alliance has to break down. At the moment, though, we continue to watch as their cooperation benefits them both at 11 points to Martinez. I believe it's 27 for Martinez, currently our rider in second place. 29 for the race leader. Bowie coming in for 12. Halfway across this track from the field. They stopped chasing a while ago, so I think they're now just racing against one another, thinking about the finishing positions here.
Doing the tallies of this number of points is hard.
3 laps remain as we see 12 on those lap cards. Our race leader is now coming in the home straight. They're still working together, going to get 13 for Martinez. $41 to the race leader, I believe. Bowie in the lead with 39 to our second place rider. Not mistaken. And incoming, our bell lap. Next up will be the Marymoor Craw, so riders wanting to compete in that. That will be coming up next. Bowie picks up another and takes back the race lead. Holding on the race lead, I should say. And even if he lets Martinez get this one, I think it's just going to be Bowie and Martinez going 1-2. 1 to go, 1 to go. Group of 4 is starting to ramp things up as they come around through turns 1 and 2, that front group of 4. Look out for Baker's in a really good position here to sprint down the back straight. Is going to want to try to finish this thing out. Andrew Kahlberg, also a very fast finisher, will try to come out of the field. Here's Bowie, our race leader, the rider in black and green, takes the victory in our first race tonight for the Cat 1-2s. Out of turn 4 will be Kahlberg. Adams coming in the pink of Dyna Racing, almost getting up to him. Taking a victory lap, folks. Everybody come around one more time. Marymoor Craw is up next. Open to competitors registered for tonight. Anybody that wants to do the slowest lap in track racing, Marymoor Craw is next.
That's for real.
Can't click anything.
Still the light. Right here.
Oh, yeah. The patented turn it on and off again.
Microsoft solution.
That's right. Up next, we got the Marymoor Craw. A nice little break here in the program before we go into this next race. Thank you again for everybody who's here in person supporting our riders. We really appreciate it. Hope you're having a nice time here and a beautiful evening in the park. What a great time to be out and enjoying the Pacific Northwest as we welcome back our racers for the first time in well over a year, and we're kind of working the kinks out and everything. We do a lot of racing here throughout the summer. In fact, we've got lots of programs going on, especially once we get into June. But if you're interested in participating yourself, you want to learn a little bit more about this, get hands-on with biking, the cycling experience, especially this whole fixed gear thing that we do here at the track, no brakes. Seems a little scary. You're like, how's that going to work? Well, come out and we'll show you. It's actually very safe. It's one of the safest ways you can compete athletically out here in the Pacific Northwest. It's very predictable and a wonderful way to get in shape and be part of this community. You can take a class, or you can even do just to try the track out, which is just a 1 hour, really fun experience. We come out here and get on one of our track bikes and feel what it's like. You can register for those adult classes online at velodrome.org. Just hover over the education tab and find the adult classes there.
Everyone doing the crawl, please the stage of the warm-up circle.
Marymoor Craw staging on the warm-up circle. So if you're going to come on through for the Marymoor Craw, come into the warm-up circle. Well, thanks to DVC Photography for being here tonight, taking photos. Dennis is around here somewhere. I know I've seen him running around from place to place. I'm looking for him now. He's hiding now. DVCphoto.com, where you can get all the pictures from tonight's action and also to support Dennis's great work he does.
I was looking at the monitor.
That's fine.
I was like, why is it not zooming?
Carl should be up there. So
Right.
Yeah, there.
Marymoor Craw, it's all mask. This is a mask event. So, here's how it's gonna work. When I roll you, you're gonna go directly to the track. There's not gonna be a lap or anything. So then, when the bell rings, then it's one to go. Right? Is that clear? It's in defined time. I think it's less than 3 or 4 minutes. So. Okay. Ready?
All right, riders ready?
All right, and with that, racing is underway after the neutral lap here. Excuse me, not the neutral lap. The preparation here in the front of this race. This is a unique start that you do not see anywhere else in all of cycling. You only get to see it here. The track stand, the slowest start, the slowest lap in all of racing. The Marymoor Craw is a special novelty race we do around here where, you know what? Those riders, they don't get to cross the finish line for a while. In fact, we don't even know how long. There's only one person who does. Her name's Kelly. She's over here at the finish line. She's got the hands on the lap cards and the bell, and when it's time, she gets to ring it, and at that point, the riders can cross the finish line and go for a one-lap, all-out sprint. Before then, no. You are stuck back here. If you put a foot down, if you lean on somebody, if you disengage in any way from your bike and try to use something else to keep you upright, if you exit from the racing surface, you are out and are no longer eligible for the one-lap sprint. So, with that being said, we have a few more moments here. We get to hang out and watch these riders do these in-place track stands, try to balance on their bike. Oh yeah, and I gotta add, because you can go backwards on these bikes, you do not want to do that either. No, thank you. All right, looking like most of our riders that started the event are still up and in the event here. I'm watching Diana get off a close-up here. Our rider, Eric Waterman's taking some efforts here to keep the bike up and being ready. Our Portland competitor down in that sprinter's lane, number 21, looking ready to jump as well. Oh, the foot comes off. No. Those track stands, they take their toll. You know who's really proud of their track standing ability? It's the juniors. They know, they're like, we're from this velodrome. We got to know how to do this. This is like a thing. It's a badge of honor for the young riders. So they're working hard here at the front. We got plenty of Jerry Baker Jr.'s riders ready to go. Oh, man. Waterman's still holding on there for the Dyna squad. Oh, Robson. Oh, the timing from Robson to get to the front. One to go, one to go, one to go, one to go. All out sprint. Here we go. Woo. Let's see who's going to pick up this one. Our rider in the blue is in a great position, but it looks like one of our junior riders, I think that's going to be Mr. Pyle coming out of turn 2. And it looks like it's going to be, I think it's Mike Robson, if I'm not mistaken, coming out of this big sprint there in turn 4. And our juniors go 2-3 for a fantastic finish in the fun Marymoor Craw, the slowest lap in track racing. Started right here An original race from our pocket of the world. Copied in many places, but never perfectly recreated. Yeah, I had to look up the bib number there. I was just looking it up. That was Andrew Martin in number 23, picking up the win there in the Marymoor Craw. I think Robson's wearing number 9 today, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, okay. Great. Well, I'm getting back to the swing of things. Thanks, Prez. I see you over there. Oh, I see Christian. Christian's helping me out. That's who's helping me out now. Hey, you know what? We're trying on the stream. If you have been checking this out online, the audio was... Okay, so we did the video last week, and now the audio was bad. I swear we're going to figure this out. I think we got it all sorted now. Hood should sound a lot cleaner. Hopefully. So if you're online, you can let us know. I would appreciate it. We're trying to get this thing in real good service and ready for our community out there so we can serve the needs of broadcasting the great racing going on here anywhere and everywhere. Kierin Heats are coming up, the first of which is for the Cat 4 men. Kierin Heats coming on over.
If you are in Heat 1, please come and line up. We're going to be doing single line in order. You're number 4. JC, number 2, position 2. Position 2. You're position 4, right? Yeah. Itai is not here.
All Cat 4s to the staging area just to help us speed up our heats here, please. Cat 4s, going over to the staging area so you're ready. We'll get this going quicker that way. Thank you. Cat 4 riders.
All right. This is a Kirin race. It's a 4-lap race. 2.5 laps behind the pacer, and the pacer is going to exit at the back straight, and then you have 1.5 lap to go. All right, so this is a Kirin race. It's a 4-lap race. 2.5 laps behind the pacer, and 1.5 lap then the sprint. Remember, you need to stay in your positions for at least a lap, and you cannot overtake the pacer. Right, so the way that we're gonna do it is we're gonna have you roll to the rail before the pursuit line. And from there, I'm gonna have the pacer start, and when the pacer is close by, I'm gonna blow the whistle, and you start coming down. Watch out for the pacer. You don't want to take the pacer out. All right, to the rail. Mask off first? Oh, mask off. Mask off.
Just a reminder, of course, in the Kirin, you will find position behind this bike and stay there and tell the one to go. So once we get behind the bike, just line it on up as we get you up to speed.
This is a moto-paced event, so the bike will be your lead throughout this race until it pulls out of your way. Then it is all up to you how you want to finish it up. 4 laps on the lap cards. And the bike is on its way, coming through turn 4. And off we go. There's the sound of the whistle. We'll get that timing a little bit better as we work through this evening. It kind of, again, we're all figuring things out again. But when the whistle sounds, you are up to get behind the moto. And you can see the Kirin now coming around through turn 2 has got all those riders hanging out behind it. The Kirin is about high speed at the end of the race. But as we get there, the moto's job is to provide a really good draft and bring the riders up to speed. Yes, we got an e-bike solution brought to us in part by one of our great sponsors, Greg Cycles. Helped us secure this fantastic machine. You can see right now, if you're on the stream, the view from the back of the moto as our group is all lined up and ready to roll. Getting a nice front row seat to the action today. Seeing 3 to go as the crew comes through. Benjamin Flom, the rider in the black, has found himself drawn in position for the front there, and they do draw for those positions. It's not competed for. Our second heat is getting set to go here momentarily for the Cat 4 men. Seeing 2 to go there, and again, as you can see now, the pace has improved as the moto's job of steadily increasing speed as the field is just going to stay with it as best they can, and then a nice little polite dingle from the bell as he pulls to the left and says, "Your turn." One to go. That's still Flom on the front there. 3 riders will advance to the finals out of these heats. So this is not about winning as much as it is about advancing. Flom is just blowing up off the front right now, and nobody's finding a way up to him. It looks like Campbell Harris, the rider in the white and black, is trying to make a move himself to get up there. 3 riders advance who will make it to the finals for another chance to ride tonight. Still a rider in black is sold around the front and just stayed off the front. He continues to push the pedals here nicely. Top 3 advance, and I think we got our 3 as it'll be our rider 411. The white and the black is the 3rd rider across the line, and the other 2 in front will join in on the finals for another chance to race the Kirin. Heat 2 now coming up. On deck shall be our first heat for the Cat 3 men. Kaiser, Snowblin, Dong, and Tonga have as the first heat for Cat 3 men. They are on deck, followed by Heat 2. Pratis, Wilson, Pyatt, Wainwright, and Peterson.
All right. This is a Kirin race, 4 laps. You are going to do 2.5 laps behind the pacer and 1.5 laps sprint. You have to keep the same positions that you have right now, and you're not allowed to pass or overtake the pacer. I'm gonna roll you to the rail. You have to be behind the stairs lane, and then I'm gonna blow the whistle when the pacer is close by, and then you start your roll. Any questions? All the way, you will hang to the rail. And you have to be behind the stairs line. Okay, roll.
And that is assigned to rolling up to the rail. Our second heat here. Look to see if there's 3 more that can join in the final.
And the whistle. Time for the riders to get up to speed and join the moto. Bib 407 did draw the first position, so it'll be Blaine Peterson taking that spot. Behind him, Stan Douglas. In third wheel, Mike Ritter. Fourth position's Will Fowler. In fifth wheel is David Gilchrist. And the sixth rider in the group is Colin Stotts. I'm sorry, there's only 5 out there. Probably should check the number of people that showed up. I'm just reading a list, folks. Should use my eyes. So out of the 5 here, 3 riders will advance, just like the last field, into a finals group of 6 riders. Will determine the final 6 placings out of that event later in the program. So again, this is a qualifying event to kind of keep your competition alive and go on to that next event. Picking up speed, 3 laps to go. 3 to go as they came across that time. And another reminder about our mask policy for all in attendance. King County Parks asks that you, while at any of our events, and of course our Velodrome staff as well would require that we keep our masks on while in attendance today. We know the CDC guidelines have been updated. We're aware, but that is not what governs the local rulings and the policies that we've had to put in place to be okay to do this racing event tonight. Thank you for understanding. And the moto's now left from the field, leaving Blaine Peterson at the front, getting the bell. It's 1 to go, top 3 advance. Who will make it into the final out of this group here? Down the back straight, it's still Blaine at the front. Nice turn of speed for him to end this event and take this 1.5 laps really from the front of the field all on his own. Not even letting a wheel get close to him here as he comes out of the turn. He'll take this one pretty handedly. Who will be the next 2 in? Whoa! The junior almost sneaking his way across the line, but it will be our Dyna Racer, the pink, third across the line. Coming on the track now will be our first heat for Cat 3 men. First heat for the Cat 3 men. Kaiser, Snowball, Dong, and Tung. They're on deck will be Paredes, Wilson, Pyatt, Wainwright, Peterson. Heat 2 on deck.
Oh, you're Jacob? Yeah. Okay, you go first position. Oh, wonderful. Thank you in advance. Spending time like it was going backwards. Bruises covering our walls, but they fall down. Diving deeper in the books that we read blind. Breathing in and breathing out to get smarter. Not working out for me, yeah.
All right, coming on the track here shortly, we'll be starting this first heat for the Cat 3 men. On deck again, Heat 2 should be ready to go. Currently in the heats for the Keirins. There is no women here at Kierin Heats, so Cat 1-2 will be the next field up for their Kierin Heats. All right, onto the track. Here comes our Heat 1 for Cat 3 men. Again, this is going to be a qualifier for the final. 3 riders advance. On deck, Heat 2. All right, there's our whistle and even some woos and yeehaws from the home crowd. Off we go. 4 laps. Again, this field, we got Jacob Tung taking up first position, the rider right behind the bike. In second position behind him, Ken Dong. Peter Snowblin at the back end in the white and black. And I see in between them, in the black with the orange helmet, is Henry Kaiser. Some of our new online views, if you're checking out the Facebook or the YouTube stream, you can find us online by checking our socials. Checking out the stream right now, you get to see a view from the back of the moto. We are so pleased to have the support of our community, and we raised quite a bit of money in 2020 to help us with some live stream improvements, including improving the main camera here and getting some better Wi-Fi for all the things we're trying to do. So a big thank you to the Velodrome community for supporting the vision of our folks here at the Velodrome to make that happen. It's been a mission of ours to do a better job serving our community broadly in the Pacific Northwest and anywhere they want to check out the racing here. It's pretty cool to be able to send it to friends and relatives anywhere. And we knew in a year like this, it may be hard for some folks, or maybe not even safe for some folks. They may not feel ready to come out and enjoy this. So hopefully you can enjoy the racing action in better fashion from home. While we look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon. 2 laps to go. The bike will pull off this time around. The field's starting to feel a little bit of the pressure. You can see the gap starting to form in some of the wheels already. That's a sign that things are getting a bit tough. Jacob Tung doing a good job holding on to the pace of the front bike. Now pulling out of the way. Coming around through turns 3 and 4. It's still Jacob at the front. The rider with that white helmet has been at the front position now, and now the sprint is on. Top 3. Who's going to get nipped out of this one? 1 to go. Snowblin trying to come into the flanking position. The rider in the white getting ready to lock things in. The junior is in a good wheel, but can he get up to the front as he's starting to lose a little bit of ground to Tung? And now Ken Dong, the rider in the pink. Kaiser starting to accelerate a little bit as well. He's got himself in a good spot, but has to make a big jump up there to make sure he's not the one removed from the field, so he'll make that jump up now. It's going to be Dong getting caught by Kaiser. It's going to be Kaiser coming out of the turn. Jacob Tung just really holding on to the front of this field all the way through. He'll be able to get through like that. It will be Kaiser getting the first across the line in this qualifier. It'll be Ken Dong, Jacob Tung, and Henry Kaiser, our unofficial advancers into the finals. Coming up next, our second heat for the Cat 3 men. Cat 1-2 men, your first heat is on deck. As I started to talk without being ready to read the list here. Cat 1-2 men, heat 1 is going to be Karlberg, Culp, Haldeman, Martinez, Robson, and Waterman. 6 riders in heat 1. Karlberg, Culp, Haldeman, Martinez, Robson, and Waterman are on deck. And the riders will take the track. They'll wait for the moto to come. We'll hear the whistle, and off they go. Their second field now trying to qualify for those finals. Stakes are a little higher. 5 riders in. 2 will get removed. Ejected sounded a little bit too violent. See, I'm glad it's been a while. So Heather Nielsen's forgotten all my like shtick, so now it's like fun again, you know? We've taken enough time away that we can laugh. This is good. Moto's on its way. Coming out of turn 4. And off we go. Seeing 4 to go. It'll be Chris Wilson, the rider in the green, 306. Drew the first position at random, so he will be the first rider behind the pacer. On deck should be our first heat again for the category 1-2s. Carlberg, Culp, Haldeman, Martinez, Robson, and Waterman already on the warm-up circle, and they will be followed by the second heat of Adams, Baker, Bowie, Cole, Martin, and Vincent. Seeing 3 to go. Our field here looking all lined up and ready for the speed to accelerate each time they come around. Some Wainwright in the second position. He's the rider in the pink of Dyna Racing. One of our juniors also giving a bit of a live view. It's got one of our cameras in there. Is Carl Pratis in the right in the middle of that field. Speed picking up nicely here. They will be seeing 2 to go. Just about a lap left with the moto here as things are picking up. 3 riders advancing to join the previous 3 qualifiers in this Kierin Finals event that we'll be seeing later. 2 to go. Wilson in position here. The bike about to get out of the way for him. We'll see how he wants to ride this. We saw earlier how he was able to win the Snowball off the front of the field, so I think you could probably expect a similar move here. He's already at the front. Why not just try to keep it? We'll see if that's how he plays it or not. And then it's up to the field behind him how they want to ride his wheel. As Wainwright's right there. No, he'll pull up. So Wilson will give up the front position. He'll try to re-accelerate later as the race slows down a little bit behind Gene Wainwright, who's also looking for somebody to make a jump first. The bell's ringing. 1 to go. As Jeff Pyatt for the Broadmark Realty Capital team keeping it alive as he comes out here, I think, for the 33rd season he posted earlier today. Keeping it going as Pyatt goes down the back straight and a big attack over the top. It'll be 2 riders up as I see both Pratis and Wilson. Pratis now finds himself overtaken by the rider for Fountain Cycling who had it ready to go and locked and loaded. Comes out of turn 4. He'll take the front position. Pratis will be advancing as well. Gene Wainwright trying to hold on for the 3rd spot, and he'll do so. Wainwright will ride again in the finals. All right, coming up now, our category 1-2, Kierin Heats as well. We got one more set of heats to go, 2 heats here. 3 will qualify into the finals from each of these rides as well. Moto coming out of turn 4. Off we go. First of two heats. For our category 1-2 riders. Again, we got to figure out who's going to make it to the finals and race for the top 6 positions in the event. First, you got to make it through the heats. You'll see something like this similarly if you've watched any sort of like Olympic sprints where they'll have some heat formats like that where you have to kind of make it through a tournament. It's kind of like that in a miniature format. You have to qualify first by making it through the preliminary stage and then on to the finals for the top places. All right, 3 to go. 3 to go here as our group's nicely lined up. That's Emmett Culp, our rider coming up from the Portland area at the front spot in blue with the red bike. So he'll be the first to meet and brake on the wind once the moto pulls out of the way for the field, which will be on the back straight after this lap. So we got one more half lap here with the lead bike before we will let them loose and see which 3 riders try to find their way to this finish line first to move on up. In second wheel position, number 34 is Matt Haldeman. Haldy's in a good spot there behind Emmett Culp, seeing what he'll do with it. Number 9 is Mike Robson, the rider in third wheel. We'll see as the 2 riders at the back are teammates, but again, out here, they're kind of competing against each other. It's going to be Carlberg in 5th wheel position, and the 6th wheel position is Martinez. Rounding out the group is Eric Waterman in the pink. And as the moto leaves the way, it will be Haldeman that picks up the speed. Holly's come out of turn 4 and at the front of the field is getting the bell. Mike Robson on his wheel. Waterman accelerating nicely. Carlberg positioning himself. He wants to be on that 3rd wheel, 2nd wheel, whoever's going to come around in the turn 2 here so he can launch his own attacks. It'll be Robson, and on his wheel is Carlberg right where he wants to be. With him is a challenger as well. Going to be Martinez trying to find his own room around the right-hand side. Waterman's down in that sprinter's lane. Will he have room down there, though? He can't really maneuver. He has to be in the top 3. Martinez is going to be the problem here. It's going to be Carlberg, Robson. Oh, Carlberg. It's going to be Martinez and I think Robson on the sprinter's lane unofficially, as I think it wasn't quite enough room for Waterman to move up and maneuver in the field. We'll confirm that one, but yeah, I think we can give it pretty confidently to our 2 riders from the Broadmark Realty team. And on deck, coming up in just a moment, our second heat for the Cat 1-2s. This means we're moving into the Kierin Finals shortly. The Cat 4 men Kierin Finals are the next event up after the heats here wrap themselves up here. All right, the moto is on its way for our second and final of the Kierin Heats here before we start moving into the finals. And there's the whistle. Racing underway, 4 to go. The rider in the blue at the front there is Andrew Martin, going to be taking the front position in this field. These things just kind of bring themselves up to speed. You'll see all the riders that make it into the finals again, as we'll be racing those finals here shortly. We end the night with some scratch racing, so stick around for that, as we still got plenty of mass start racing to see. 3 to go. Bowie in second wheel with the black and green. Nolan Adams is the rider in third position currently. Andy Baker in the fourth spot. Vern Cole, the black and green, is the fifth wheel currently in the field. And this field is rounded up by Scott Vincent taking up the sixth position. You can see him there currently in that white helmet, the last spot. Again, drawn randomly. That's just part of the setup for how this race starts. Getting some help out of turn one as this acceleration is picking up and the race is really about to start coming out of the back straight. We'll launch him down for the fast finish as the moto's about to give way for Martin, who's now up and out of the saddle, going on the attack. He wants this about a kilo effort as he's got to make it around the track 1.5 times. It's about 600 meters if you call it the real distance here. 1 to go. It's 1 to go. Martin's on a big attack here. Bowie on his wheel, though. Nolan Adams in the pink, trying to hold on. All Cat 4s to the staging area. We will do minors first, followed by the majors, is what I've just been told. Coming out of the turn, it's going to be Bowie holding on for the front position with Baker making a nice move, and Nolan Adams is going to be moving on as well. I've just been told to have all competitors check in for each field for the finals, and we will go minors followed by the majors. That's what I have been told. So, Cat 4 first, minors followed by the majors. So if you made it into the major final, you'll be the second heat to go, the second group out. We'll start with the minors. So first up, it would look like for the minor for the Cat 4, its bib number is 405, 406, 444, 499. I got Bernard Yee. Gilchrist. Fowler. On deck will be the major final. Bibs 407, 409, 411, 412, 413, and 420 are up for the final. They're on deck. That's the Cat 4 men on deck for their final. All right, the moto's on the way for our minor finals for the Cat 4 men. On deck again, the major final. Our riders that qualified up into the major final will be riding after this. More Kirin racing about ready to happen here. Our moto coming out of turn 4 now. The whistle signifying the start of the race and 4 to go. It'll be Bernard Yee at the front of the group. Our 4 riders going around again for 4 laps. This will be for the 7th positions and down. After this, we'll find those top 6 places for the major final. Getting a good look there on the live stream at our field all lined up with Bernard at the front. Again, a big thanks to our community for making some of these improvements happen. We're stressing our systems here as we figure everything out, but we are so excited and proud to be able to bring some better coverage in 2021 to everybody. If you give us a follow on YouTube, you can check it out when you're not here at the track in person. If you have any feedback for it, I'd appreciate hearing from you. My email is webadmin@velodrome.org. So if you have anything I didn't pick up on a chat from either one of the messages, you can always forward an email there. You can find any of the contact information for our staff online at our website at velodrome.org. The field picking up a little pace as the moto's job. They cannot cross the rear wheel of that thing, so it's the job of the moto to set the pace and the riders to hold it. At the 2 to go mark, the e-bike doing nicely here out on this fine and beautiful evening. And now the race is truly on as, again, we are settling the Keirins for these 4 riders here and now. We'll see the 7th place end down in this minor final as it's Bernard Yee coming through the turn. Fowler trying to pick up some speed here, getting low in the bike and trying to make the 1 lap pull here. 1 to go for Fowler, number 444, getting really arrow down there against those handlebars. Bernard Yee says, "No way, you're not getting away from me, kid." And he's going to hit a second attack as they come out of turn 2. He wants to spin it up and get back up to that rear wheel and try to pinch it around in the final moments of this race. It's still Fowler, though, driving it from the front. Coming through the turn, Yee, second acceleration. It's still Fowler leading the way. Who's going to find the front? Fowler still driving it. The 1 lap effort. Whoa, Yee comes swinging down. A little extra kick there out of turn 4 and finds just enough to finish at the front of the field. A nice finish for him, and our competitors will make one time around before we get them off the track. Thank you very much. Our major final upcoming in just a moment. On deck, we have the minor final for the Cat 3 men. Those Cat 3 riders in the minor, Snowball, Peterson, and Pyatt will be the riders on deck. And now that our current group is up again, we can have on deck our next group of the minor finals for the Cat 3 men. Snowball, Peterson, and Pyatt, the 3 riders there. They'll be followed by the final. Moto exiting turn 4. This will be for first through sixth place in the Kirin tonight for the Cat 4 competitors. James Campbell Harris, the first rider in this field, the rider in the white, right behind the Moto Pacer. Seeing 3 to go as our field comes across this finish line. It's Stan Douglas for the Flow Cycling Factory team in the second wheel position. He's got that yellow and orange kit. Again, for the top 6 positions now. So we've gone through the qualifiers. These guys have finished at the front of each of their heats, and now they're out for their second attempt tonight to see where they can place overall. First rider across the line, and 2 laps from now will be our victor in the fast finishing Kirin. For the Cat 4s, our Category 4 riders. Down the back straight, this will be where the bike will give way for our competitors now to take the lead, and Campbell Harris says no thanks. Pulls up and looks for someone else to take that spot. Right away, it'll be Stan Douglas that gets up there. He also takes a quick exit from the lead. It's now Blaine Peterson looking around. He's got the sprinters lane at 1 to go. It's a hard place to be and not to sprint, so he will indeed start picking up pace. So Blaine now finds himself in the front of the field, and off he goes. John Levy is the rider on his wheel as they continue to pick up speed down the back straight. It's going to be still Peterson. Levy trying to pick up pace and hold on to the improving speed here coming out of turn 4. Can he hold off on this counter punch from Levy? Levy coming in hot. It's going to be Levy and Levy. 4:09. Peterson second across the line in that one. And I believe Ritter would have been our rider for Dyna that was there all across the line. Third in the race, our top 3. Well done for our Cat 4 men Keirins, and that will be it for that event for those riders. They'll make their way off here shortly, and it will be the Cat 3 minor that is set to start soon, followed by the riders on deck for the major. There'll be Wilson, Wainwright, Kaiser, Tung, Freitas, and Dong are set to go for the major.
Rider 305, we are waiting for you.
Z-Dog Peterson, right? Peterson? Just say Z-Dog.
I don't have the
Number
305.
All right, apologize for the delay there. It looks like we're back to it. 2 riders to ride here on the minor. They'll get started in a moment. On deck, the major coming up next for Cat 3. They'll be followed by the finals for the women.
All right, field's starting to pick up the pace here as, again, they'll be accelerating throughout this event until the moto pulls off at 1.5 laps to go. Seeing 3 laps remaining. Jeff Pyatt versus Peter Snowball in this 1v1 version of the Kirin. After this, you will see the Cat 3 men compete for positions 1 through 6, the top 6 positions in their Kirin competition today. Then we'll get the women competitors up for their straight to final race. At 2 to go, 2 riders up here, as again, it's Pyatt, the first rider. Jeff Pyatt with the yellow bike and the white and blue kit. It's been a while since we've been doing racing here, so as a reminder, we, around the track, make sure that our spectators are not crossing over the bar at any point, as I know it looks nice and safe up there, but for the extra precautions and safety of our riders, please keep your limbs outside of the track at all times. Thank you. Bell's ringing. It's 1 to go. Snowblin and Pyatt head to head. And it will be Snowblin continuing to separate himself a little bit. And it will be Snowblin at the front of this one. Nice job, Jeff. Peter and Snowblin, that's the same person. Peter and Jeff will exit after a lap here. I know. True. It's very true. Coming up next, the majors for the Cat 3 men. On deck, Cat 4 women. You all check in for your final. Women, excuse me, just women competitors. And the moto's on its way. One of the challenges we're facing is the longevity of the battery charge on our GoPros. So if you're watching online, those views are starting to go away. So we're working on troubleshooting that. But we hope you enjoy them while they last, because it's been quite a treat to be able to bring some of those in-action shots to you during the race. Moto now exiting turn 4. And off we go for the major. Top 6 positions at the line after 4 laps of racing. That is Jacob Tung in the dark blue kit. Drew the first position. It looks to be Henry Kaiser in second spot currently, and behind him Gene Wainwright. In 4th position, the black and blue of the junior team, Carl Pratis. Looks to be Ken Dong in the 5th spot of the field, also in the pink of Dyna Racing, and for Fount Cycling, Chris Wilson is sitting back at the 6th spot in this lineup. Top positions at the line after 3 more laps. We're going to see who takes tonight's trophy of speed for the Cat 3 field here. 3 to go. It does seem a little bit like a parade here in these first couple laps. Yes, they cannot contend for positions. Yes, we are just going and speeding ourselves up nice and gradually. This gets the riders all lined up and ready to launch for the speed at the end of the race. Usually it converts into a very high speed finish. Sometimes riders will pull up a little bit right before the big sprint, but the idea here is to kind of bring those riders up there with saving as much of their power as possible for the sprints that happen after they get up to speed. So this gradual bring up, we got the moto in front of them that gives them a nice draft to be behind, and no one else is doing the work but that moto to start it off. It's only really in this final lap that you can really start to really feel the speed in the group. And you'll see that as they start to kind of snap apart a little bit. There's usually a little bit extra space between the wheels, and their gears are getting up
You can see the cadence in their feet starting to pick up as they get off the back of the bike here and are now left to their own devices. Jacob Tung will pull up out of the way. He now gives room for one of the juniors. Kaiser now takes the front wheel spot and is looking around for just a moment before he decides, yep, time to go. One to go. Henry's on the move. Look at the distance he's got between him and the field. He's opened up a quick attack. A little bit of a smaller gear lets you do that, but he's going to try to make this go all the way around the track. He's got the tall task, though, of trying to beat some of these bigger gears behind him. Chris Wilson on the move, the rider for Found Cycling. It's also going to be Ken Dong trying to sprint his way down this thing. And coming through the turns, it's still Kaiser at the front, but Chris Wilson, oh my gosh, he's got ahead of steam. Look out for this guy. Coming out turn 4, Chris Wilson accelerating nicely. Kaiser trying to hold for a second. Wilson, Kaiser, and Premes. 2 juniors flying up to the front of the field, pick up the 2 and the 3 in this group. Henry with a nice early attack, holds on for second. Wilson with good acceleration down the back straight. And, you know, maybe a little bit bigger gearing helps out too. Nah, no one ever talks about gearing. I shouldn't start doing that either. I'm not going to make that a thing in 21. I'll stay away from that as the topic. All right. Well done for our Cat 3 riders, Category 3 riders done with their Keirins, and we found our top 3, or top 6 really, as they're making the way around in their quick post lap. Next up will be our women competitors for their final. On deck is the Cat 1-2 Minors. And the moto's got the signal. And it's on its way. Bibs number 20, 21, 34, 23, 19, and 16 make up the minor for the Cat 1-2 men. Those riders are on deck. Exiting the turn, and off we go. 4 laps for our straight to finals for our women competitors. Front rider will get first place after 4 laps. This is a good field to talk about our juniors. If you know a youth that's out there looking for a fun summer activity, or maybe you got one in your own household that's a little bit too rambunctious for their own good, you need to kick them out for a few hours a day, there's a great summer camp that our wonderful staff here offer. Camp Velo, that you can sign up for online and give them a full week of fun during the summer, learning how to race a track bike. That's right, we'll get them out here. It's intended for youth, I believe as young as 9. To come on out and race. We've got track bikes here. You don't have to own the device. We got it for you. We'll get them on a bike that'll fit them and train them up. Show them the rules of the track, it's not the road. Get them figuring out what all these lines mean out here and talk about those rules and give them some experience riding on the fixed gear bike. And at the end of it all, they can start racing in the juniors field. We actually have specifically designed juniors fields on Monday nights where our very young riders can compete against other young riders as well and learn how to be a track racer. And just in general, be part of this great community. So if you want to know more about that, you can go to, you guessed it, velodrome.org, where you can sign up for the classes in the convenience and the comfort of your own home. Two to go. Kelly Please is saying, you know what, I think I might want to move up a little bit. So she'll start moving up along the side ahead of the sprint. And the bike's away. We're straight into the sprint now as we're going to be going for another lap and a half here. First rider across the line will be our winner. That's been Milla at the front for a while, bib 202. One of our young riders with that yellow frame leading this field out. And as the bell's ringing, Kelly looking around left and right, mostly over that right shoulder because she knows that that's where the attack will come from. She feels like the sprint lane is a known quantity, so we're waiting for somebody to attack her around the right side. So now Kelly down the straight of the back, going to be coming out of turn 2, and now she's going to come down to the flat part of the sprint lane, being followed by Heather Nielsen. Now coming out of the final moments of the turn, who may come out here side by side? Nielsen trying to get enough speed to come alongside Kelly. Kelly, please. Heather Nielsen, Amari Edwards. Nielsen, I think, unofficially held on. Whew. Close at the line. We'll confirm that one as Edwards was closing. I think if the finish line was another couple feet up, she might have gotten it, but it looked to me as Nielsen might hold on. But again, unofficial call. We'll check on what they confirm later. Nice job for our women competitors. And our officials will confirm indeed the rider in red takes it. Nielsen for the win. In a close finish. Coming on track now will be the minors for the Cat 1-2 men on deck. The final for the category 1-2s and all these Keirins. The majors for the Cat 1-2s coming up after that minor is concluded. We will end tonight's racing programs with some scratch races. So still more racing to go after this. If you're enjoying this, we'll come back to the mass start thing. So all the riders all at once. Racing in some scratches. Those will be coming up after these next 2 Kierin finals are concluded. And the moto getting the signal. And with 4 to go, starting this thing off, Vern Cole takes that front spot. Looks like Haldy is the second rider. And off we go for 4 laps. Again, at the end of this, we will discover who is in 7th place and down from that. So this is going to be the minor final for these riders tonight. After this, we'll figure out the first to 6th place riders in the Kierin Finals before moving on to those scratches. Three to go. And now seeing 2 to go. It's again still the same line we saw before. Vern Cole at that front position. Matt Haldeman is the second rider. Andrew Martin in the blue is in the 3rd spot and continues to be there as they start to find themselves now able to compete at the front. Who will take the front wheel now? Not Vern, who's going to swing up and let someone else take that spot. It'll be Haldy now. Andrew Martin still right behind Haldeman's wheel, starting to accelerate nicely now into turn 1. Off we go. Coming around the corner, our Portland competitor starting to pick up some steam as well. Andrew Martin says, no way. Out in the saddle, nice sprint down the back straight. He's picking up steam fast. Maybe enough to overtake the wheel entirely, but not quite.
Coming out of the turn, it's going to be Portland and local head-to-head. It looks like it'll go to the sprinter's lane for that one. Andrew Martin in the lighter blue, just barely over our Emmett Colt for the 1-2 on that finish. Coming onto the track next, our major finals for the Cat 1-2s. On deck, we will bring up the Category 4 men for their scratch race. Category 4 competitors, your scratch race is coming up. Moto on its way, our final Kirin of the evening. It can feel like a bit of a gauntlet, but you know what? This is a fun race to watch, and this will be for first through sixth place in the category 1-2 men. And there's our whistle, and off we go. Looks like it's Nick Martinez that drew for first spot. So bib number 18 will slot himself right behind the bike with Andrew Karlberg, bib 1, behind him. John Bowie is the third rider in the field. Andy Baker is the fourth in the group as they start to kind of collapse in with Nolan Adams as the fifth spot. Robson in the blue makes up the final position in this lineup. Three to go. Everybody's setting into their spot. No bumping at the back, trying to reposition. Everybody's happy at the moment. Next time around, we'll see them at a decently faster clip and getting ready to launch on the back straight for this final sprint, the last of these Kirins tonight, and the last chance for these guys to show who's the top dog in the speed category. Look out for bib number 1 for sure in a fast speed event like this, known for a fast finisher. His teammate in front of him has been strong in the early season, Nick Martinez, but all 6 of these riders are capable of a quick turn of speed given the right position and the right timing. So come across the line at 2 to go. We're going to watch as the moto again exits here momentarily. The front rider, Nick Martinez, is going to make that decision of whether to keep on going, and I expect him to do just that. It looks like he will, keeping the pedals going, pushing down and keeping the spinning up, coming through turns 3 and 4, followed by Karlberg still. The lineup unchanged. Bowie coming out of turn 4 is still in that position right behind him. At the front getting the bell, it's Martinez, and now acceleration for Karlberg. He says, I'm not waiting for anybody. 1 lap to go. Let's go. Up and out of the saddle he goes. A big sprint for this 1 lap. Holy moly. John Bowie says, I wasn't ready for it. He's trying to catch back on. The second kick, he's got it though. Starting to pick up a lot more speed. The second effort from the rider in the black and green is impressive, but is it enough as Andrew Baker also gets in on the action? Baker coming out of the turn. It's still going to be Karlberg with the first turn and enough to hold on. Karlberg for the Kirin. Bowie will take second across the line, and it's Andy Baker third. Andrew Karlberg, again, a good event for him, and he shows his speed early in the year. Picks up a nice win here tonight in the Kirin with a fantastic event for the Category 1-2 men in the Kirin event. Well done. And a good job to Scott, too. Thanks, Scott. You did well tonight. Someone has to ride the moto. We appreciate it. As we come back around again, we will be getting ready in just a moment for the first of 4 scratch races. 1 for each of our fields tonight. A note to our riders, we do have premes in the race. I will be signaling to our bell lap card holder to be the one ringing the bell for the premes as well. I do not have a bell currently, so you will hear a bell twice during the race for premes that will come from the laps, not from me. We're trying to find our bell. It walked off. Premes. $10 and $5. Now you can make your plans. All right, so onto the track now comes the category for competitors for their scratch race. Thanks for sticking around for us so long into the evening. It's a beautiful night to be out here. If you've been hanging out and watching us in person, we are so thankful for you being with us here during this preseason. We're here every single week, as long as it's not raining, racing at 7 o'clock. It's Friday night racing here at the Velodrome. It's a good destination for a summer night. During the preseason, we don't do any sort of cost for our in-person viewing as well. During the regular season, we generally gate at the gate for about $5 for adults and free for the little ones. So if you do plan on coming back, we would ask again for your donations at the door only on the Friday nights. If you want to come by and check out our other race programs, during the summer months, starting in June, we'll be racing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, as well as you can see some racing on the weekends. Check our calendar for Saturday and Sunday races that'll be happening throughout the season. Saturday time trials happening infrequently, as well as some Sunday racing happening a bit more regularly throughout the year. You can find that calendar of events at velodrome.org/calendar. Pro tip, if you go there and you want to sync that up to your personal Google or your iCalendar, you can do so by scrolling down to the bottom of that page and subscribing, so you can get all of the races added directly into your calendar. In case you're one of those folks that needs to plan out everything in your life. You crazy people. Just go day by day. Who needs that? I've heard it's helpful. 15 to go. How's the scratch work? Well, at the end of the race, who's the first rider across the line wins. Oh, we finally get there. The one that's easy, the simple one. It's just like a race. Darn it. I get to finally not talk about it. So here's the thing. We're going to mix it up just a little bit by throwing in premes. Those are lap prizes. On certain laps, I get to ring the bell extra. So somewhere in the race, we're going to determine when it's time to give them a little extra incentive to go fast. And we're going to throw out some cash premes. So we got $5 and $10, and the bell will be ringing on the infield to signify those premes twice throughout the race. At the end of the race at 1 to go, the bell will also ring signifying 1 to go, letting them know that the race is almost over. That's the sound they're going to be listening for most acutely. And since this, of course, is our feature race, it's worth a little extra in the upgrades and for the overall standings. Oh, the Kirin was the feature. Oh, yeah, you're right. I got to read the schedule. Also, that's for weird people, reading a schedule. If anybody's looking for an unemployed announcer, so our feature event, the Kirin, just getting over, that's worth double in the overall standings tonight. Our final race is a little longer usually, so we usually run some kind of a longer distance, a little bit more endurance friendly. This is a 15 lap for a category 4 rider, so a little bit on the longer distance. And if you want to do the quick calculations around here, 4 laps is a mile. Since this is a 400-meter track, it's a pretty close estimation. So you can get a sense about how long these riders are racing for, just short of 4 miles at a 15 lap distance. $12 to go now. Rider's going to take turns at the front. This is kind of where you do get to see sort of the pack mentality of racing coming alive, as usually in track racing, there's a lot of different races that force sprints and recoveries where things kind of break apart, and you'll see this kind of like snapping groups here and there. But sometimes you've got these lulls where you have this pack mentality, everybody kind of reserving energy, moving in and out, sort of flowing around. You see this on the road a lot, where riders will take their turns at the front, come out of the group, fall back into the middle of the field again. Around here at this track, it's usually 1 lap or half lap pulls, so you'll see on one straight into a turn, one rider will take the lead and then pull out of the way and let someone else take the lead on the next turn, as Blaine does so perfectly cued at the end of my explanation. So weaving in and out of the field, taking their turns, and the faster this field goes, the more stretched out they get. So you'll see them kind of single file a little bit as they all try to find somewhere to be out here. You don't want to be the first one to break through the air here, as of course that will cause you to have to do a little extra effort. So it's all part of that mentality of being in the pack and saving energy. Seeing 10 to go, 10 to go. Coming out of turn 2 under the Greg Cycle sign. Starting to pick up a little bit of interest here as we've got the pink of Dyna Racing picking up speed. And that's the first bell for $5. Not a bad time for that to come out, is it? 9 to go. 9 to go. It's going to be a bell for $5 next time around. A little extra cash to throw away. Mike Ritter says, oh man, I was trying to get away from this field, dude. Sorry to throw a wrench in the plans. Not. Next time around, $5 to the first rider. It's still Ritter, though. The rider in pink is at the front, and can he hold that position? A little extra cash coming the way of the first rider. It's still Ritter coming out of the turn. He's starting to look around and say, who's coming? Oh, of course it's a junior. $5 is a fortune. Will Fowler's going to take home $5 more, and he's going to invest that immediately into stocks and be a millionaire when he's 60. You're welcome for your financial futures, Will Fowler. Don't spend it on something stupid. Like I would. It'll be something bike related or something else, I'm sure, at some point. It'll go into some fun so his parents can stop buying him new bike gear. Your turn, kid. You're winning money. It's your turn. Ben Plum on the front in the dark black kit there. The all black look of the bid 412 is on the lead of the field. He's got himself a nice gap here between him and the rest of the field. Nice gap opened up here, and he's going to continue to put in a nice effort away from the rest of this group. And as he opens up this gap, he's setting himself up nicely for the finish if he can maintain this gap for a few more laps. 6 to go. Not wanting to see this one go away from him just yet. We got a rider, John Levy, moving out to join in on the fun. But a big move is needed here to make it up there. So John is now having to close up that gap as quick as he can. The sooner he gets up to the wheel of Ben, he can share the workload, and that's going to be the reward he's looking for. And just like that, the bell's ringing for $10 to lead the lap. $10 to lead the lap. $10 to lead the lap. Ben and John both getting a little bit of extra support on the infield, and from turn 1 as they go by, they're on an impressive solo effort, each of them, but someone's going to get extra bucks this time around. It's probably not going to be in the field. Now we're like, yeah, you're right. Okay. Almost 200 meters before they would even catch up to where Ben is, and it looks like John's starting to lose a little bit of steam here. Can Ben hold on for the extra cash payout and what may eventually turn into a victory for him if he can stay up here? 4 to go, and it will be our rider in all black picking up the $10. The next bell will be for 1 to go. We see 4 laps remaining. It looks like David Gilchrist is the first rider across the line out of the main field. Still in the lead of the race is Ben, who is in the all-black kit on the back straight on his own, just leading it out about 200 meters up from the field. Just needs to do it a couple more times now as he's about to see 2 to go. John Levy's been really driving the pace. He's been all alone out here trying to catch back on. Both of these riders putting it all out to see if they can find the finish. And if John can catch the wheel, could he even still beat him, as it's one heck of a climb just to get to him. He's closing distance just a little bit, though. Man, can he make it in time? 2 to go. The field well behind. They're going to be sprinting for third, and that's really the race they've got to have on their mind right now. They've given up the chase quite a while ago, and they're really looking at each other trying to figure out who's going to get the third place here out of this field. Blaine Peterson now takes the front for the field at 2 to go. And out of turn 4 now comes the race leader. He's been out here for a while. Can he hold on? John's still chasing him down. 1 to go. 1 to go. Can Ben hold on for one more lap? 1 to go. John might time this so perfectly. If he could just catch him right out of this final lap, he might be able to overcome Ben's lead that he's had for most of the half of this race now. This majority of the final laps have been all Benjamin on the front. Out of the corner, it's going to be one of our juniors leading the way. It looks like it's going to be Fowler at the front. Will gets the bell. 1 to go. 1 to go. And look at our leaders now coming out of the turn. John's caught. Can he come around for the final sprint? It's going to be Ben and John going head to head. Oh, man. Benjamin holds on with a great solo effort to finish the race. John was in the hunt. The shark was hunting, but he didn't quite make it. Well done. On the back straight, it looks like it's going to be James Campbell Harris in the white kit. He's soared this one up, and now he's going to launch his own final attack. Can he make it to the line for third? Oh, yeah. I think he did. Enough head of steam there to hold through the charge on the home straight, and I think it'll be Campbell Harris, the rider in the white, that holds on for third. Because it looked like Ritter was chasing him down hard. Not quite enough in the last moments. Excellent racing for our Category 4 competitors tonight. That is their last race. They'll make their way off here soon. And the Cat 3 men are getting ready for their final race, their scratch. On deck will be the women. This is a 20-lap scratch, so you got a little bit. Don't forget to check online. We've got some information starting to come out your way about the auction for this year. We're not doing a live event. It will be entirely hosted online, a virtual auction. There is already information starting to be pushed out and hosted. You can check out Facebook as well as Twitter for some recent links to the event. Start kind of getting geared up for that. Again, the tracks auction online this year. I believe starting on the 26th of May, if I'm not mistaken. Golly, I hope I didn't get that wrong. Where I really will be job hunting. And now our field coming on out is the Category 3 men for their scratch race. 20 laps and 2 bells will come from the infield for premes, $5 and $10 respectively. 20-lap race about to start, and they're on their neutral. We'll get them started out of turn 4 as long as they're all together. That's right, you can follow us online at our socials. Don't want to forget to plug that as well. If you like the convenience of Twitter to get updates, we got one of those at JB Velodrome. There's going to be a theme here, I promise. You can find us on Instagram at JB Velodrome. You can look us up on YouTube at JB Velodrome. We got it on lockdown. The only thing that's maybe a little easier than that is just our website, velodrome.org. You can stay in touch with us on any of those platforms. Get the latest updates from race director and team by tuning into those channels. Here comes our field coming out of turn 4, and there's that whistle. Off we go. 20 laps. 2 premes will come from the infield. The ring of the bell from the infield to signal 2 premes. A little bit early action on this race as it looks like Z-Dogs. He's moving for fell swoop at 19 to go. Bib 305 accelerating the field with Kaiser matching pace, and Chris Wilson says, yeah, I like this. This might be the race, says some riders, because Chris Wilson's been showing some real endurance early on in this season. Plenty of power behind him. So riders trying to match. It looks like Kaiser says, yeah, I see it. Let's keep up the speed early. See who can survive. And why not? Let's go $5 to lead the lap. Let's incentivize an early lap here at 18 to go. It's $5 to lead. Good timing here as the speed's already high. Who can maintain it and wants to pick up the extra bucks? The field's stretched out here. There's a bit of a snap in the middle of the field now. Is now 5 and 3, what was a field of 8. The $5, man, it's alluring to those juniors. Like, here we go. Kaiser says, I know what to do. I know how to turn these pedals. Let's go. Let's get my payout. Kaiser for $5. Hooah! He finds it. Seeing 17 to go. $16 to go, and it's going to be Kaiser working with Wilson now, the dynamic duo they've suddenly become. A group of 3 in the chase. And 3 more in the hunt, now just coming through turn 1. I don't know, one of those officially called a field, but they're both 3 riders, so. Usually we call that first of those 2 groups the field. So we'll say coming out of turn 4 is the field, chasing down our leaders at 15 to go. Trying to make it back into a group of 5 is Jacob Tung, the rider in the dark blue. Working together with his crew of 3 now. Got 14 to go. Starting to look like this breakaway might be starting to come back together just a little bit as our riders are kind of checking out and seeing, oh, okay. Hey, how's it going? Peter Snowblin finds his way up there. Wilson will find his wheel quickly. And what was 2 has now become 4 as it looks like one of our casualties of the chase has lost the pace now, and it's just a group of 4 that have survived. So now our field at the front of this race, 13 to go as the field crosses the finish line. Don't forget, if you already know or feel like you're going to be wanting to show up to racing the next couple weeks, especially if you already got your season pass or your membership taken care of, riders can pre-register for races through May on Mondays and Fridays. We will begin opening up registration in the month of June soon as well. We will try to notify you when that's become available and ready for registration. Wednesday night racing will also be coming on the picture in June, so be looking for that. And don't forget about the kickoff event on May 28th and 29th. Registration is open for that weekend of racing. You can go to velodrome.org, head to the Race Reg portal, and jump on in and get yourself signed up for the kickoff event today, where we got some time trial events going on Saturday morning in between 2 evening sessions. You can register individually for the Friday and Saturday nights, as well as an optional donation for that Saturday program. Again, the kickoff event, May 28th and 29th. Reg is open on velodrome.org. Just head over to that racing tab, click the Race Reg portal, and get started. Sign up today. And if you have any problems, please don't email me about it. I'm really tired about hearing about them. Out of turn 4, we're going to have a new acceleration here. It's been a little too stagnant for a while, says Snowblin. Off he goes at 10 to go. Rocking and rolling. Chris Wilson will try to match. as will both the riders in that lead group. Besides, it'll be Kaiser and Tongue working together as well to hold on for the speed of Wilson and Snowblin. We're just shaving riders here. Who can survive? It's kind of become a game of survival at this point in this scratch race. Everybody's got their early season race legs too. We got to kind of work everybody back in. So no surprise there as we're all kind of surprised again by the high speed. And there's a sit up here. So we'll bring it back together at 9 to go. Just a moment to catch our breath again. Wilson in the green, riding high, and so does the rest of the field. Seeing 9 laps to go for the chasing group of 3. Our field now on the back straight, and they're at the front of the group, the front of this race, I should say. And Wilson still riding the rail, basically, taking a breather. He's using the slow lane. Whenever you're up high on the track, that's the language that you want to go slow. What's nice about being up there is when you are ready to go fast, you just turn the wheel left and you got it downhill. Now, of course, if there's a rider there, that might be a problem. Hey, there's a preem as they're sitting up a little bit. We got $10 to lead the lap. $10. 10 buckaroos. Snowblin gets a second wind. Chris Wilson, right in the middle of the track, tries to match his speed. You know who wants the money? He's going to try to accelerate too. It's Kaiser the Laser moving down the back straight. Oh, boy. Yep, $10. If $5 worked well, how well will 10? That's like Wheaties times 20. It'll be the junior picking up the big cash today. He's going to take another $10 home. 7 to go. Six to go. Our group of 4 is definitely now 3, as it looks like our survivors, Snowblin, Wilson, and Kaiser. Everyone else is trailing the leaders currently on the field, out here on the track. The leader of this race will be determined at that 1 to go mark will be a bell, and on the final lap we'll figure out who our winners are. So again, this is really just a race for the fastest rider overall. About a 5-mile race here, a 20-lap event, so a little bit longer on the distance. Now seeing 5 to go, getting into those final laps. You're going to see these guys take a bit of a breather. There was that acceleration for the $10, and I think everybody wants just a little bit more oxygen in the tank, and they also know it's pretty hard to get away from each other. They keep snapping those back wheels for a second, and all of a sudden, bam, they're back on again, so don't waste the effort. Maybe they're just thinking it's time to save it up. Wilson finds the front and says the pace is a little slow for me. He'll try to pick it back up again at 4 to go. The final mile, 4 laps remain. Three to go. Snowblin, the rider in white at the front. On deck is the women competitors for their scratch. Women competitors on deck. Just a few laps remaining. Should already be on the warm-up circle, ready to get started. Jacob Tongue, our rider in the no man's land spot, kind of between our leaders and the chasers. Still holding on to 4th position overall in the race if it were to end right here. 2 to go. 2 to go. Now we can start to watch these leaders for what should be one big final kick here somewhere to finish this one up. A little bit of separation starting to form in front of the junior, who's losing a little bit of space here. It's going to be Snowblin and Wilson coming out of this turn. And with the bell ringing, our riders will ride up a little bit for the finishers coming in here as they'll be on their final lap. 1 to go for the finishers. Oh, looking around a little bit, Snowblin says who's going to take it now, and it looks like it'll be Wilson, and Snowblin will sit back, and now it's going to be just the junior trying to chase down Chris Wilson down the back straight. And Wilson may just have the better finish overall tonight as he is ready to rock and roll. Coming out of turn 4, Chris Wilson will be our winner tonight in the scratch race. Coming through on this home and straight, Henry Kaiser with an impressive show tonight. $15 richer besides the second place finish. And Snowblin, our third place finisher out of the field, getting ahead of all those other riders behind him well and early in this race. Once again, 2 premes from the announcer, but instead the bell will be ringing on the infield. So 2 premes during the race. Bell will ring on the infield for 2 premes, $10 and $5 coming out during the scratch race. And our riders are away for the neutral. 15 laps on the cards. Next time around, we'll get them started. Counting down on this lap cards for the scratch race. On deck, category 1-2 men for your scratch in the final race of the night. Cat 1-2 scratch is the next race up. Warm-up circle available for the next field as soon as they're off and away. So should be available for you here shortly. And there's our whistle. We got 15 laps showing. 2 premes during the race, and the laps are counting down. 15 to go. Scratch racing here. We got 2 more races here this evening, folks. We get into the nice evening here, a beautiful evening in Marymoor Park. Big thanks to King County Parks for their partnership in helping us bring back racing this year. We've been hard at work with putting together our race program, our safety protocols, our online reg system, and of course, live stream improvements. And most importantly, we've just been working hard on doing the thing that we really look forward to. You know, get the racers out here, organize some great racing, get our officials back and working with us, doing all the things that is needed to make a race happen. It's been a long time coming. Starting to feel a little normal around here in the summer. As we get into the warmer months of the year, 14 laps to go. Preseason goes throughout May, and when I was talking to the riders a little earlier about the kickoff event, if you want to check that out, that's going to be hopefully our biggest racing of the year so far. Will be on May 28th and 29th. We have 2 evening programs that will look a little bit like this one. May 28th is a Friday evening, and then we have a Saturday evening following. There will be some time trials in the morning of Saturday the 29th that you are welcome to come by. There will be no gated cost to enter to check those out. You can just come see what it means to be a time trialist. That'll be riders against the clock, so not really a competitive field situation. You'll see riders trying to get their best times in events such as the 500 meter, the 1 kilometer, the 2 kilometer, etc. Call out a special thanks to some of our sponsors, especially those that have already been mentioned that are on the track surface. A big thanks to our financial support for helping the velodrome stay viable each and every year. A couple more to thank today. I know Matt's here today. Thanks for Haldeman's hand-built wheels. They are a sight to behold. Thanks for your sponsorship, Matt, and fantastic work with the product. You should check out Holly's work. I think Dennis already took off for the night, but you can check out photos from tonight's racing by heading to dbcphoto.com for the stills of the action afterwards. Oh, there's a bell ringing. That's for $5. $5 to lead the lap. Also, our thanks to Experience Redmond, helping get folks out to experience this beautiful city. And we're on the list of good things to come check out. We thank Experience Redmond for being a partner of ours in this community. As we watch this backstreet acceleration for $5, it's been sort of a junior fiasco tonight. It's all the juniors wanting their little bit of extra spending money. And at 10 to go, nice sprinting. It'll be another junior picking up. It's going to be Bella this time, picking up the 5. All right. Nine to go. Kelly, please, at the front. Looks like Lucy Gilchrist, sitting in the second wheel position, will now take the front. 9 laps remaining in our scratch. On deck, again, in 9 laps, we'll be pulling up the Category 1-2 riders for the final race of the night. Edwards looking over the right and moving out of the way at 8 to go. Six to go. Heather Nielsen at the front. with Leah Holslander now taking the front position from her. And 5 to go. Our field working mostly cooperatively here, kind of counting down the lap cards. Getting into the final third of this race now. If you had a GoPro and you're on the infield and looking what to do with it, you can actually just leave it over by either our finish line person over here or somewhere over at the bottom of the official stand. We appreciate it. We'll pick it up later tonight. Hey, there's a bell. It's ringing for $10. $10 to lead the lap. That's right, $10 to lead the lap. Leah says, you bet. I got it. $10. I'm away. I can sprint for $10. Let's go. Under the Friday Night Lights, one of our juniors looking for the payout. Coming out of the turn, it looks like it will be Leah still leaning it out. Holslander wants to pick up the $10, and it looks like she'll be able to find it. Nicely done. Seeing 2 to go, 2 to go. Starting to pick up the pace now. Looks like Lucy able to keep stride with some of our adult riders in this mixed field of juniors and adult women. It's going to be on the back straight, going to be Nielsen in the red. Swinging up to the right a little bit and leaving a little room for this final sprint that's upcoming. Edwards now in almost the sprinter's lane, not wanting to totally commit down there. She'll actually swing up a little bit more as all riders now floating above the blue line, giving themselves a little bit of gravity if they would like to turn left and accelerate out of this turn. And that bell's for 1 to go. It's 1 to go for the women. 1 to go. Gilchrist in the mix. In a good spot, too. She's down the sprinter's lane, though. Kind of holding up Edwards, who's looking over to the left, thinking about going down there herself, but she has to get in front of the wheel. She'll do so. So now Edwards takes the front position with Please along her right side here, trying to move up. Edwards just has to do the drag race from the front now with Please up and out of the saddle in the better position overall, but Edwards still has the shorter line to get to the end. Edwards at the front, Please trying to catch back on. It'll be Gilchrist still holding on speed to coach. Edwards will take this one. Gilchrist and Please will be the 1, 2, 3. Nicely done for our women competitors and our juniors in the field here finishing up as well. Well done tonight for a great night of Friday night racing. Thank you. Category 1, 2 men, you are making your way for queuing up so we can get you out here on the track so we can get this final race underway, a 25 lap scratch with premes. Once again, we thank everybody online for tuning in and checking out our live stream, as well as you here in person. So thankful for our audience being able to support our riders and make some noise as they come by. 7 o'clock here again next week. If you want to enjoy some more live racing, we'll be going for another edition of Friday Night Racing preseason, week 3, a week from today at 7 o'clock, weather permitting. And the neutral lap underway now for our Category 1-2 men. Once we bring them back around, we'll start counting down on this 25-lap event. 2 bells will come from the infield for premes. $5 and $10, both from the infield bell ringer during this 25-lap event. And the whistle signifies we are racing. 25 laps to go. All right, get some noise out of turn 1 still as the evening goes on, but the racing's still going on too, so we got to let the riders know we're excited and enjoying some racing. Just getting started here at the beginning of this scratch race. Plenty of time left for the riders to sort this one out. This is the distance where, with these riders, this number that's here tonight, this distance ahead of them, and we have seen some riders in this field willing to go on some attacks early and try to break away. I wouldn't be surprised to see some efforts here on that front. 24 to go. Just long enough for one of those things to maybe organize and happen and work. We'll see. We'll see. Single file formation is signifying a good clip here early on in the race. The riders all happy to sit in behind somebody else as the pace isn't burning hot just yet, but it's certainly moving along at a good speed. 23 to go behind Vern Cole's wheels for Liquid Velo. Yeah. Corner 1 and into corner 2 is MVPing it tonight, man. Just constantly cheering on the crowd. Appreciate y'all being here. Someone's in this field that you're excited for. I'll figure out who it is. Are you trying to... Maybe I turn on the music. I might be able to hear it. Seeing 22 to go. Bowie at the front. It'll be Carlberg giving that front position a turn after him. $21 to go, and now Baker's turn at the front. This is a good overall speed from this field. They are looking ready to roll here early on in this race. Again, constantly stretched out in that single file line. Not easing up early on. The goal here for the riders with endurance is let's make it hard for the sprinters to survive. Oh, here we go. $5 on an early sprint. 20 to go. We got $5 for the early sprint here. A little extra payout. Ah, the out-of-towner says, all right, let's go take one for the home team. Emmett Culp going down the back straight wants the extra little payout for his troubles, making it over here to Seattle to race, or Redmond to be more specific. I know we're not Seattle. Come on. And at 19 to go, can Culp hold on for the 5? It'll be Culp and Bowie off the front now. So Culp picks up the 5, but Bowie has a positioning advantage now over the rest of the field, as does, I believe, that's going to be Nick Martinez, whose name I've called an awful lot in this preseason for being off the front early. Off he goes again, now making could be a very formidable 3-man group here. $18 to go, and we've got our group of 3, the field in the chase. Bit of energy coming from that chasing group now. It's starting to split that field up as we now have several disparate groups starting to form. We'll see how these start to recombine here over the next lap or two. At 17 to go, plenty of racing left. Martinez looks over the right shoulder as he starts to see some familiar faces returning into the action, bolstering the forces of the lead group, and now the field is at the front of the race as we've got a combined group of what looks to be 7. One rider just about to get there. A little more effort, maybe we'll get a group of 8. Tough place to be. $16 to go. Now we find ourselves with that group of 8. As predicted, it's been a bit of a recombination, but over time it's kind of come back together again, and now we got this field of 8 riders all stretched out and ready to roll for several more laps at this quick pace, it looks like. Make this field a little smaller. That's less riders to sprint against later. We saw it in the Keirins, though. You got to know that bib number 1 likes the fast finish, and as long as he's in this group and not pulling, he's getting ready to try to win this thing later at top speed, but still plenty more laps to go. Again, we know some of these riders have formulas they want to try to execute. Some of the other formulas to win this race is just make it so hard for a sprinter to survive. Let's just go, go, go. That's the conviction right now from these riders that are just driving the pace, is to keep it fast. Baker pulls to the right, gives room for Nolan Adams in the pink bib number 11. Not yet to halfway through this one at 14 to go. Starting to settle into a pretty good groove here. You know, it can be a lot of effort to maintain speeds over 20 miles an hour on a bike. These feels like these are going to be sitting more in that 25 range, and as they accelerate into the 30s, the low 30s at their top speeds on an evening like this, even now they're already cruising just consistently. And when you get enough riders like this together, there's kind of this breeze that you can feel as they come flying by. That's just from the, again, all of them kind of cooperating together and moving the air as one. Looking like a well-oiled machine here in the preseason. Our Category 1-2s just flowing around the field for a few more laps. Showing 12. Past the halfway point of this 25-lap event. Several riders in a row taking quick pulls, not taking very long in the front. That's them sending you body language. That means two things. One, I want to save my energy to sprint. I'm fresh, but I don't want to work too hard now because I think I could sprint to win. Or I'm not so fresh. I'm losing power right now. So the riders are watching who isn't taking a pull. It's kind of the unspoken word in this field as they watch each other, who's doing the work and who's not. They're looking for body language. How tired are these riders looking? How ready are they to take a pull, to lead the action, to make a break? These riders are fairly familiar with each other too, and so they know some of their strengths. They are well aware of how these riders tend to ride. So they're all kind of keeping an eye. They're measuring up what everybody is in their fitness early on in the season as well. So that's all kind of part of the calculus of the race, especially in these mid laps where the field's just taking their turns at the front and just getting through the action together until we get closer to those big sprints at the end. Yeah, nice reacceleration. So this is going to be a change in the format for the first time in a little bit, where instead of just kind of rotating through riders, one rider who is looking to kind of move back in the field decides to reaccelerate. Andrew Martin did not like the lower pace. He likes picking it up. He sees, I think a faster pace would benefit me, so let's get it going again. So the rider in that light blue kit falling back off the front, but he's the one who kind of restarted the speed again. The field will be seeing 8 to go as they come through the line now. On the home straight, the field. The chasing group just now coming out of turn 2. Don't forget, we have your premes up here. If you did pick up one this evening, we still have them. I got them up here at the in the announcer stand still. We'll run them down as soon as this race is done, as fast as we can. 7 to go. Martinez gives way for Culp. And Bowie now at the front. So rotating quickly as another rider will peel away. So again, you can see some riders say, not really my thing right now, not going to take a pull. There's enough riders you can kind of hide in this group and not do that work because you know that your strength isn't in that sort of racing. And that's a bell for $10. We got $10 to the leader on this lap, $10 to lead the lap, $10 to lead the lap. At 6 to go. Nolan Adams pulls up to the right just as the bell's ringing and is looking for somebody else who's hungry for the cash. Oh, forced to kind of go the long way around is Culp, who is going up to sprint. Baker, though, is in a good spot to go underneath, and it'll be Baker and Culp now going down the back straight. Baker at the front, $10 on the line, so a nice intermediate sprint happening here. Shaking up this kind of this pace we've been set into. At 5 to go, it's Baker and Culp. Baker for 10. Bib 4 takes home the cash. He's on his way now, and he's starting to split this up a little bit. And when you're in a race like this, at this moment, when you know you got a fast finisher or two in the field, you kind of need to go. You've just put in this huge effort, and like, if you stop now, what are you going to do? Just let these guys sprint, and that might be it. Baker says, okay, I got to get back in this field and try again. He did roll it, and the field kind of responded, so Baker is going to get back into the field again and try this again shortly. He needs to hold on and reset himself as Culp finds himself at the front. Now Bowie, not going to be there too long. He's already looking for an escape. After that excitement of that sprint, notice what's happened now is that the field is wider across the field than they've been before, as more riders are in that intermediate kind of, I'm resting, I'm trying to not do too much work, I'm trying to catch my breath. This is a good opportunity for those riders that still feel fresh enough to kind of push again and just try to put the hurt on one more time before the sprint at 3 to go, but looks like everybody's kind of gassing up a little bit and just needing a moment for the oxygen to reset. 3 to go. Our group here is kind of broken a little bit, starting to reconfigure again, but you'll see them come back together as they come out of turn 4 with a bit of a slowing from that front group. 2 to go. The big prize is the win. Who's going to find it? At 2 to go, now we're lined up for the sprint. Everything now is about positioning and timing. Positioning and timing. Everything coming into these final couple laps. So where are you going to be in the field? How far front? How far back? Whose wheel are you on? And will you have a lane to maneuver when it comes time? These are the questions our riders are having to consider. If you're going to wait for the sprint, you've got to really be thinking ahead at this exact moment. Time's kind of up for the big breakaway move, so now we're coming down to it. Out of this turn will be the bell and the 1 to go mark. It's Baker on the front. In comes the bell. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Here we go. 1 to go with Baker on the front. Colt starting to accelerate the rider in the blue. Off he comes through turn 1. He's going to pick up some speed. Our Portland racer trying to hold on to the pace of Baker, who's now leading it. Bowie's making his big move. Guess who's hot his wheel? He knew where to be. It's Andrew Carlberg is in the right spot at the right time. Bowie in the black and green. Carlberg in the white and blue and yellow coming through turns 3 and 4. The rider that won the Kirin, can he win it again? It's going to be Bowie and Carlberg coming to the line. It looks like it'll be... Oh, Bowie! Unofficially on the inside. Black and green, I think, holds on as Liquid Velo takes it unofficially. I'll look for the call to confirm it shortly, but whoo! Couldn't quite make it around the wheel, I think. Confirmed, I believe, by the officials as Bowie over Carlberg in that one. Very close sprint and an exciting finish for the Category 1-2s on their great scratch race tonight. Thank you, everybody, for making it out for tonight's race. It has been a fantastic pleasure hosting you all for yet another Friday night. Well done and fantastic racing tonight for everybody. Thank you again for those that made their way out and joined us tonight. If you're still here in person, holy moly, thank you for supporting racing and having a great evening out here in the parks. If you're online, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your subscribes, your thumbs up, and your likes. We appreciate it. We will be back with more racing action again, and we look forward to seeing you here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.